Hey everyone, you're with Tom from Ludicrous Feed, and thank you so much for joining us for another Thursday night. Today is the 10th of August 2023. So much to chat about tonight on Ludicrous Feed Live. As always, you think there's nothing to talk about in the EV space? You're wrong. There's plenty to talk about, as always. So, to kick things off, let's welcome our very good friend Riz from Carloop and also from The Driven. Hello, Riz. How are you tonight?
Hey Tom, going well. As you said, there's lots happening. We've got a lot to get through and look forward to seeing what everyone else has to say with everything going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, can't wait. I always look forward to Thursday nights and Saturday mornings as well. So yeah, can't wait for chatting about EVs tonight. And a big welcome to all our guests watching us live tonight, as usual. If you're watching us live, leave a comment and tell us where you're watching from and what do you want to chat about tonight. I think it'd be good to hear from you. And if you're watching us on replay, hello as well. Make sure you drop a comment too. And if you're listening to us on audio podcast, thank you so much for your support and appreciate you listening to us in the car or wherever you might be in this world. So thank you very much. Big shout out to a new member, Tassie EV1. Thank you so much for becoming our channel member tonight. So appreciate that very much. Apologies also from Rahul, our good friend. He is currently overseas with family, enjoying himself and with the family as well overseas with warmer weather than what we're experiencing here in Australia. But that's okay. He'll be back next week in good form. And apologies also from Nash, our good friend Nash, who was supposed to be our special guest tonight. He's also got bigger commitments as well. I believe Riz, was it brokering some deal with Elon Musk or something like that?
Well, it sounds like it. The word on the street is he's trying to get the Malaysian PM, the Indonesian PM, and the mayor of Wollongong all into one room along with Elon to find out where the next gigafactory is going. So,
Yep,
but
yep.
he'll be back on with us shortly.
That's right. World peace. That's what Nash is aiming for tonight. Yes, no, no. Seriously, he's with family as well, so he'll be hopefully joining us next week too. We shall see. And also, we won't be having a Saturday morning stream this week because Riz and I will be actually doing a little road trip with the MG4. Riz, which you had the privilege of seeing very briefly this week in Sydney.
Yeah, I did, Tom, and I also saw you had a tweet up earlier today.
Yes, so I posted this after the embargo dropped. I couldn't make the drive day, but they let me post this stuff here, which is all the pricing for the MG4, which is now officially available on sale. I wrote there on sale. It's actually officially for sale in Australia now. So the Excite 51 kilowatt hour is $38,990, one of the cheapest EVs you can get in Australia now. All the way up to the Excite 77 kilowatt hour, 55,990. That's also quite a reasonable price for a 77 kilowatt hour battery. 7-year warranty and also 5-star ANCAP rating as well, which is our safety regulation here in Australia. There's some pictures there of the two cars side by side, orange and blue. There's the interior there. And there is the orange one from the back. And a side-on shot of the charge port. Riz, you got your hands on one this week. What do you think?
Yeah, I was pretty impressed actually for given the price point and what you sort of get in the car.
Mm.
Um, I got a chance to spend a bit of time in Sydney earlier this week, and so I took a couple of shots as I rocked up before all the other people sort of jumped into the cars. And in person, the car looks a lot better than what the pictures do it any justice.
Mm.
Lots of curves. It's an attractive hatchback
Mm.
in person, and yeah, some colors don't stand out as much as the orange or the blue. But yeah, overall, it was a good experience. A lot of value.
Yeah, I mean, for under 40 grand, it's just amazing, right? And look, I got to say, the interior from the pics already look pretty good. So I'm looking forward to checking this out with you, Riz, IRL, as they say. Um, I mean, did it feel like, we talk about the fact that I think it's a very similar size to the Corolla, Toyota Corolla. Is that what you're thinking too?
Yeah, it felt there was more space in it than I was expecting. I know some of us saw this at Fully Charged live in Sydney earlier this year. It was hard to gauge how spacious the car really is because there were a lot of people getting in and out. So
Mm,
spending a little bit of time, which I know Tom you'll get to do as well on this Saturday.
mm.
Um, it's more spacious than I was expecting it to be, and I think that the fact that it doesn't have that transmission tunnel sort of running through the middle. It's a modular ground up electric platform. It just, yeah, there's a lot more space on the inside than what you would expect.
Oh, that's good to hear. And this is MG's first ground up EV, so you'd expect that flat floor, hopefully, you know, modular platform, all that stuff. So, yeah, really good to see. So, yeah, as I said, looking forward to driving this with Riz on the weekend and hopefully charging it as well. So, get an idea of what the charging rate is like on the road. Let's say hello to a few of our viewers tonight. So, wow, all the comments are coming in fast already. Let's see. We've got people from Adelaide. We've got people from Brisbane, Tassie. Of course, Kevin from Florida. Hello there as well. From Perth, all over the country and all over the world too. Fantastic. And got some members here. We've got Ray. Hello, Ray. We've got Scotty. We've got Kenny. Hey, Tom and Riz. Everyone else. That's good. We've got Oliver. Hello there. Manya watching this while charging for free at Woolies. Fantastic. Everyone hit the like button. Thank you, Ray. JD's here. Hello. We've got Sydney Siders. We've got Charles. Riz wears more hats than Eddie Maguire. Yes. And more shoes too, probably, Riz. Running around all the time. It's great.
Well, I'm not a millionaire yet, so only Eddie can make that
Not yet.
happen.
Phone a friend. We'll help you out. Oliver's watching from Poland. Hey, Oliver. What time is it over there? Wow. Yep, Tassie Evie, new member. Thank you, Tassie. And yep, Paul. Hello, Paul. Hello there. Send sub ENS. Nash has been rushed back to Tesla HQ to oversee the Highland release, surely. Yes, we'll get some info on that too tonight. Yeah. Kenny's tuning in from Bairnsdale instead of Melbourne tonight. Road trip. And Greg says embargo, poof, about the MG4, no doubt. And yes, I think Chris Vanderstock made a video too, so guys, check that out. I think he was there, wasn't he, Riz?
Yeah, I did. I did briefly say hi to him. He was quite good. He got, I think, quite a bit of video footage during the day, and I think, yeah, he has a video up on YouTube.
Excellent. Go check that out. And Charles says left rear for the charge port. Another update for my diagram. Yes, Charles, thanks for updating that for us for the AEVA. Thank you so much. Let's see. Oh, so many comments. Let's see what else we've got. Tassie EV1 says all color options are included for the MG4. Is that right? That's pretty good.
I think it's true. There's a lot of value packed into that car. And paints are just one of those things. One thing you touched on earlier, Tom, 7-year warranty. Apparently it's transferable. So
whoa.
So it's transferable from owner to owner and it's unlimited kilometers. I'm sure there's some caveats in there around for using it for rideshare and other business purposes, but it seems like a solid proposition.
So does that include the powertrain as well, the 7 years?
I think it does, yeah. I don't think there's a difference between the powertrain and the standard car warranty, which is not a bad thing given, it's easy to remember. 7 years, unlimited kilometers. Sort of Kia did that very well, and they had huge success with it in the ICE days. And with MG doing the same thing, especially for electric cars, makes it easier rather than people saying, well, how long have I got on the battery versus the car?
Yeah, 100%. Make it easy, right? We've got some questions for you, Riz. What's the downsides? Any sort of glaring omissions you saw straight away on this week?
As some of the early Model 3 owners, piano finish. It's got parts of the interior. It's got quite a bit of piano finish on them. Underneath the infotainment screen, sort of the on steering wheel buttons that it has. I did like the fact that I think in the MG ZS, they had a third stalk for cruise control. They've gotten rid of that in this MG. It feels a lot more modern. You can activate it from your steering wheel. Like I think Hyundai, Genesis, and Kia cars do that as well. But yeah, downsides are the piano finish was one. Also, the cup holders, I find them far too low if you are sort of driving around with a coffee or anything like that to reach out and grab that. I think that center dial to shift gears it's a really good idea. I don't know if it needed to stick out as much because you only use it sort of to start the car. I did like the fact that it doesn't have a start or stop button. So if it detects you've got the key in your pocket or it's on you when you're sitting in the driver's seat, the car sort of automatically turns on, but you have to wait for the system to load and say ready before you can shift it into drive.
Okay. So it's not quite like, all the time on. It still needs to start
No.
up a little bit. Okay. Well, look, that's better than having a start button, which I personally don't like either, to be honest, with an EV. So again, sort of, ground up EV production, they can sort of do things like that now, which is great. Cool. All right, let's go through some more of the comments. Thanks everyone for all your comments here. Let's see what else have we got here. No Frunk as well. Someone's saying apparently a big one where a third party could go.
Yeah.
Okay. What else have we got here? Thanks for all comments, guys. Sydney EV isn't Nash organizing his 15 Cybertrucks and semi deliveries. Yeah, it could be. We'll tell us. He'll tell us next week. Yep. And what else have we got here? Yeah, good question about the Noveda lease. Yeah, yep. We'll have to explore that later. And Oliver's saying time here in Poland is 1:09 p.m. Okay, not too bad. That's good. Good time to join us. Greg's saying, cherry. Oh yes, sorry, yes. I was in Germany and so many EVs also had a cherry red Model Y. Nice. Okay. Greg's saying only place piano black belongs is on a piano. Okay, yeah. It did scratch a lot on the old Model 3, I must say. So that's one drawback. Okay, cool. Thanks for your comments, everyone. Keep them coming. Riz, let's go through our discussions for tonight. What shall we talk about first?
Do we have anything on the Model 3 Highland? Because we always there's a lot of rumors floating around now.
Yes, we do. Let me see. Let me look at the chat here. Yep. Here we go. I'll pop this one on. Yes, we always try to bring up some Model 3 Highland news here. Okay. So big post here, but basically these are kind of a summary pics of what we can expect, I guess. That might be a little render there down the bottom right, possibly.
Yeah, and top left, I think they're both
top left
renders.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, today that black one in the middle, the wheels that it's got on, they're sort of like a funny version of the turbine wheels with spokes. There was an image shared out of China today. One of the suppliers apparently has sent a photo of a boxed wheel, and it was shared by a Twitter account, and then they were asked to take it off. But it basically looked exactly like the wheels on that black car in the middle. So they're a little bit different to the wheels we find, the 18-inch wheels we find on rear-wheel drive Model 3s, without obviously the aero caps on. So yeah, there could be changes on the wheels. As we sort of know, design will be a bit different. And then there's upgraded cameras, new dash. We don't know if it's going to have a sort of a screen behind the steering wheel yet, but we'll find out.
Yeah, there was a new dash picture. I'm just trying to scroll through my X just quickly. I don't think I can quite see it now.
I think that was removed as well.
That's why I couldn't find it. Okay, someone redacted that. Interesting.
Yeah. So the key takeaway there was it's the wood trim, the fake wood trim or whatever it is. It's no longer going to be in the Model 3 Highland, the next version. Possibly the same changes will come to future Model Ys, likely next year.
Yep. Okay. Yes. Well, interesting times ahead, right? As we saw last week, the delivery times for Europe have blown out to like next year. So we shall see. Yeah. So we're talking screens behind the wheel. Is that right?
Steering wheels.
Yeah. Right.
So some some people are used to it with normal vehicles. A lot of EVs, like even the MG4, has one behind the steering wheel that displays basic information. I'm neither for or against it if it's there. I mean, Tom, you've got your Model S. You know the information it displays behind the steering wheel. Is it valuable, or are you quite happy with your Model 3 as well?
Well, it's funny because for my Model 3, I've actually got the third-party thingy which holds like my phone. You can put the speedometer up. And I kind of like it actually, seeing a big number in front of my steering wheel. I don't know, call me old-fashioned. I'm happy to go both ways, really. it's quite a nifty device, but for those who want to make that transition. But at the same time, I'm very happy just to glance over a little bit to the left and see the speedometer as well. So I'm pretty easygoing. But on the Model S screen, you could see the autopilot in action. You got the speedometer, obviously, a few other key metrics and telemetry. So I don't know. I'm happy either way, to be honest. Okay, so that's what we've got for Model 3 Highland for this week. Not much else, I think, at this stage. So we'll keep you guys posted. But one thing I do want to point out too, which was highlighted by one of our viewers this week from Jace, is that there are some incentives for used Teslas in Australia. So 5,000 kilometers of free supercharging on selected used vehicles ordered and delivered before the end of September. Riz, what do we make of this? Anything are they trying to clear inventory for the Highland? What's going
on? It's a bit hard to tell. I think I think there must have been a lot of trade-ins from people picking up, Model Ys. They're selling thousands every month. And you can imagine the people that would be upgrading on novated leases and all of those things and trading in their Model 3s. And now what's happening is basically Tesla's got a lot of used inventory and they're trying to move it on. To the stage just before the stream, I saw apparently Tesla is doing a big event at one of their delivery centers here in Melbourne over the weekend for used inventory sale and pickup.
Okay.
So that's at Westgate Park, one of the recent big warehouses that Tesla has close to the CBD. Feel free to check out the details on Tesla's events page. I haven't looked deeply into it just yet, but they're really pushing to clear some used inventory. So could be they've got too many of them on, and could also be that they just want to move all of this stuff on and get ready for, newer inventory for their used vehicles.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to read too much into it. I think you're right, Riz. They're just trying to clear old stock, like any business would, right? You don't want them sitting around in your warehouse. So, yeah, I mean, now's a good time to get 5,000 k's of free supercharging. That's a decent road trip. So, considering now we're looking at 60 cents to 80 cents, anywhere in that bracket between for dynamic pricing for the supercharging pricing. So, yeah, 5,000 k's is not a bad thing. Jace again. Oh, Jace's tweet and Jace's message here. He says the MG Motor website shows $700 premium for all other colors that aren't white for the MG4. Thank you for clearing that up. There you go. Still, $700 is not a huge expense if you want something else. Cool. Okay. And Sydney Evie says there'll be a lot of trade-in for the Highland. Yeah, no doubt. For sure. Yep. So, absolutely. Yes. Matt says a small screen would be awesome behind the steering wheel. I think it would help with people transitioning. Yep. Yeah, stalkless design. Is that going to be for the Model 3 Highland, Riz?
That's what we're expecting. So MG removes one stalk out of their 3 stalks, and Tesla will remove all of them in their next generation car. So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. I guess a lot of us don't know what it's like. And in some states, I think, so here in Victoria, when you exit a roundabout, as far as I know, I could have been doing all of this illegally for many years, you don't have to indicate when you leave or exit a roundabout. But in Queensland, when I used to live up there, you do. So that was the rules back in the day. So when you exit, even if you're going straight through a roundabout, you still indicate left as you're exiting that roundabout as such. So for those, it might be living in Queensland, you might have to learn it a bit quicker than the rest of us. But yeah, no stalks, possibly like the Model S and X.
Yeah, I'll have to refresh the rules in New South Wales. I think you have to indicate out of a double lane roundabout. I think I'll have to double check that. I know the rules were very tight like a few years ago, but it might have relaxed. So someone else could correct me on that in New South Wales. But yeah, every state's got their own different nuance, right, for rules. So be very careful when you drive around Australia, of course. Here's a good question. Yeah, MG4, SN64, or BYD Atto 3 standard range. Yeah. Or even the Dolphin, right?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Charging is expected to be better in the SN64. than the Atto 3. The Atto 3 we know is sort of capped around 88 kilowatts for DC fast charging, whereas the MG is closer to 140 kilowatts. We obviously stay tuned when Tom gets a chance to go on a little road trip. We'll test it out and see what it really charges at, and that's something we don't know yet.
The great unknown. So stay tuned, everyone. Yep. So Charles is saying no stalks equals no way for ADRs, I assume, in Australia. So interesting. That's right. So a lot of things that we see in the US may not come to pass here in Australia. One of them might be the semi. So yeah, interesting times ahead. Speaking of, let's put this one up here, Riz. This is the semi article. Pepsi Cola have taken delivery, of course, of the Tesla Semi. Quieter, smoother, more efficient. PepsiCo shows off its new big Tesla Semi or Semi rigs. Look at that.
Oh, it's amazing what they're doing there, and it's good that they've come out and started to disclose a bit of information about what they really like to own and operate, just giving other business owners confidence that, hey, electric trucks are here and they can make a difference to decarbonize your large business operations. Pepsi reckons they have no issues running them on shorter routes up to 100 miles for majority of the fleet, and some of those Tesla semis do up to, I think they said 400 miles, which is around 720 kilometers. So they're running them quite a bit. The consumption, 1.1 kilowatt hours per kilometer. And I guess that's, what do we get in the cars? 150 watt hours per kilometer?
Yeah, Model Y's about that, 150 watt hours. So almost, 8 times that, isn't it?
It's still, I think, quite, that design must help with that. Imagine what those boxier trucks would be like, such as those from Volvo and others.
Even this one side by side, right? This one seems more aerodynamic. Yeah. Look at the charging, 750 kilowatt DC chargers, 10 to 90% in 20 to 30 minutes. Pretty impressive. Yeah. And they look great, don't they? Especially in like the Pepsi livery. There it is that's the one, the new Tesla mega chargers, right?
Yeah. So they're the 750 kilowatt ones. Pepsi did say in the video they have 4 of them on site with a dedicated 3 megawatt power supply. And it just helps them with metering and understanding what's going on without impacting the rest of the operation on site. So they work closely with the local Sacramento utilities agency to ensure that they had that dedicated supply. And it seems like all of those agencies are on board and they see this as the future.
That's good. Yeah. I've got Sydney EV saying, sadly no semi for Oz 2 wide by 10 millimeters. Also, drive position must be right-hand side of the vehicle center line. Great plans for mega chargers between California and Texas as well. 15 sites, 4 mega chargers stall per site. And Charles is clarifying that his no stalks comment was his opinion, not ADR's at this stage. So thanks, Charles. And John Smith asking, is that 1.1 kilowatt hour per kilometer at max loading? Good question.
I probably would say it'd be whatever Pepsi's average load would be. I don't think they would be, overloading the trucks as such or using them at their max load limits. So it'd be whatever the average is. But then again, I guess they didn't clarify that from what I heard in that video. So hopefully more information comes directly from Tesla in the coming months. It seems that Tesla's ramping up quite a bit of their operations around the semi mega chargers. There's a couple that have been spotted in next to different superchargers. So, and as sort of I think Charles mentioned earlier, they're looking at having a mega charger highway. So they must have gotten through a lot of the kinks working closely with Pepsi to now allow Pepsi and others to release some of that information. Hopefully we'll hear it soon from Tesla.
Yeah. Some people clarifying for me in New South Wales indicate out when appropriate or practical. So thank you for that clarification, everyone. Fantastic. Speaking of chargers, I might put this one up. Hopefully this audio comes through. Let's have a look. So this is, sorry everyone, I just so this is in South Devon, UK's largest rapid EV charging network, Osprey, the new hub.
This kind of infrastructure.
Oh, is that-
Salmon's Leap is
is that Liz?
Osprey's own land, which is incredibly exciting because what it's meant is that we could design the whole site ourselves. And so we have put together a flow-through layout that you can see here today. We've got 16 300 kilowatt charging satellites and intelligently load balanced. So depending on the car that you might come in, you're going to pull the power that you need at that time in real time. We've also got 2 bays for towing. So if you're bringing your caravan, if you're a longer vehicle, those 2 bays will look after you to charge those vehicles. We've also got extra space on all of the bays and then 2 fully disabled accessible bays as well. The other exciting thing about this site, which I love in particular, is that the farm shop here is a locally run, locally sourced farm shop. It has a cafe on site, so whether it's food to go or a little bit of shopping or a sit-down coffee, we've got you covered during the charge.
Yeah, I mean that's fantastic, right? That's the future of charging sites in the UK. Our future. Hopefully, we'll get some of this stuff. But like important points, Riz, like drive-through bays. Had a bit of discussion this week online about that. Obviously, decent like sort of food outlet and toilets nearby, and hopefully reliable charging too from the Kempower stalls, right?
Yeah, Tesla's been doing a fair bit of that as well. I think isn't there a pie shop between Sydney and Canberra or something like that? They've got one there. So Tesla's choosing similar locations, but hopefully other charge point operators, when they select these larger hubs, they will have some of these features as well.
I thought I heard him mention something about real-time charging, like load balancing as well. I don't know if I heard that right or not.
Could be the case. I think the Kempower chargers do that because they're sort of like stalls anyway. Like the Tesla chargers, where the load management, from what I understand, is done by the main unit. So they're sort of like dispensers. So they would be doing active load management to figure out who's sort of charging and what's needed by what car.
Yeah. And by the way, that was not an ad for Osprey. There's no affiliation with them. I just thought it was very interesting, just to see what's coming up in Australia, looking overseas, of course, as we do. So, and by the way, that was from Rahul. So Rahul's kind of still posting stuff for us when he's on holiday. How good's that? What a good man. Oh, Sensei, $2 thingy. Thank you. $2 for next cooking video. Kia EV9 or Hyundai Ioniq 7. Yeah. I mean, the MG4's got vehicle to load too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. I'll have to do some more cooking. Yes, so I will be checking it out sometime soon. So Pheasant's Nest, Riz, we'll check it out on the weekend.
Yeah,
definitely. That's one of the better looking sites in Australia. And yes, Kempower does do load balancing. Thank you for that. And yes, drive-through does make sense for towing. Not many tow, but hard to charge with the trailer, 100%. Which reminds me, I might put this up actually. So this was sent to me this week by one of our viewers. And yeah, this is obviously an extreme case, but this is a huge payload back, obviously blocking a few charges below in Wodonga. This gentleman was with the car the whole time, just as a disclaimer before you say anything. But yeah, this is the reason why I think we do need more drive-throughs. Sure, you can unhitch that thing and charge and then rehitch. Yeah, but drive-through obviously, as you saw in that Osprey video, much easier just to pull up, charge, and drive off again. Riz, do you tow much? Have you towed much with an EV in the past?
No, I haven't. I haven't got a tow bar on the Model 3. But looking forward to getting one in 2029 with my Cybertruck.
That's right. You get your subsidies by then, hopefully. Ray says $5 for a welding test, maybe? Or do you mean wielding? Welding. Okay, maybe. We'll find something to test the car with. But thank you, Ray. Appreciate that donation there. And Riz, we've got some slides for your graphs this week. Tell us more about this one.
Oh yes. So sales in Australia for the top models, as we can see, Model Y and Model 3 doing relatively well. The Atto 3 we spoke last week has been selling over 1,000 vehicles every month. MG doing all right as well with their ZS, but what I did hear earlier this week, MG has plans to bring thousands of MG4s in the next 12 months or so, and they're looking at a run rate of 1 to 2,000 a month
Whoa.
by the end of this year, and then ramping that up early next year as well. So it seems like supply is not an issue, which was one of the concerns that we had when we were sort of been talking about MG4 being such a important car for Australian EV uptake. So that we will see that surpass the ZS pretty quickly.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, like, look at that Tesla Model Y, Model 3, way up ahead there. Atto 3 is not too bad, but yeah, it will be good to see more MGs on the road, especially at that price point, right? You would think. So yeah, Riz, we'll compare this in like maybe 6 months' time when there's more affordable EVs on the road. Let's have a look at this one. So this is Australian DC fast chargers from 2015 to 2023.
Yeah, so I thought it was worth highlighting that when we're about to, we're sort of what, July, end of July, we're about to surpass how many chargers were deployed in 2022. So these are the fast charging sites, not the number of chargers. So over 130 new sites have opened in 2023 so far around Australia for DC fast chargers. So they're offering DC fast charging. Some are Tesla, obviously, ChargeFox and EV Networks doing a bit as well, and BP Pulse making up a much larger chunk than they did last year. So yeah, I think charging infrastructure is coming along, but it also highlights that, we have a long way to go. The fleet of EVs has nearly doubled in those 7 months. So the number of charging sites should have nearly doubled as well. So I guess we'll find out. So quite a lot more happening in the charging infrastructure space.
Yeah, definitely. I literally watch this space. Hopefully, we'll see more pop up. Speaking of, let's put this one up here. So this was highlighted to us from Charles, one of our viewers. Now, if you watched our Saturday stream, we went through some of the pictures that Greg sent us, one of our viewers and members. Greg Wilson sent us from Ballarat, which has now got 2 supercharger locations. And apparently Wagga Wagga has got one that's possibly under construction. So if you're in the Wagga area, try and grab some photos. Or even like if you know there's a Tesla supercharger coming to your town, go have a look at the possible sites and see if anything's popping up in those areas, and we'll pop them up on the feed here for you. But yeah, keen eyes there around our country. Thank you for that, Charles. Cool.
Is the Wagga charger state funded?
I believe it was. I believe so. Yeah.
So it wasn't funded by Gladys or anything like that. Too soon.
Well, is it though? Is it though? It's been going for a while.
It got a lot of funding.
Yeah.
No,
I
think it would be good to see a lot of Tesla and everyone else really selecting some of the regional sites, because it drives a lot of EV drivers to actually go there, even if they weren't planning on going to some of those regional towns. And it brings new business to those businesses like this. Was it the RSL Club or or any of these new businesses which have chargers located next to them? I think people will be happy to spend a bit of money there and support them as well. So more regional chargers are important for EV adoption.
Yep, 100%. And just to clarify, Sensei was just asking about whether we prefer the Kia EV9 or the Hyundai Ioniq 7. Yeah. I haven't seen the 7 yet, but the Ioniq, the Kia EV9 looked pretty good when I saw it. So that prototype in Sydney earlier.
Those large SUVs. Just overnight, GM released the Cadillac Escalade IQ, and that thing is massive with a 200 kilowatt hour battery pack.
Whoa. And
that's supposed to be somewhat close to the Kia EV9, which, Tom, you've seen sort of in person.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like it. It was a good size, like 7-seater SUV for those who need it. Yeah, no, it's good. Good to have more range and more, segments of the market electrified. So good.
And that larger segment we definitely need, especially with the Escalade. We need more rappers to be making videos about electric cars, and rappers love Escalades. So I think it just does good promotion for electric vehicles.
Do we need the bouncing suspension as well?
That's right. Imagine Snoop Dogg doing one of those videos with the new Cadillac Escalade IQ.
That would be awesome. Maybe some mini log as well on the back.
Yeah, all about marketing.
Yeah, that's right. Speaking of big cars, so this was the Cybertruck's frunk that was released this week. So some comments around like smaller than what people are expecting. What do you guys think there in the chat? Is it too small? Is it okay? Let me your thoughts.
Yeah, it's hard to tell with the size of the Cybertruck, like, and that angle of that photo, how deep it actually goes, because it is a big vehicle. So it may look like it's not enough space, but it could be quite a lot more. I think it would be more than our current generation Model 3 and Y frunks. So
I like the fact that it's got like a flat, like sort of flat floor from the entry point. So like, with our frunks in the Y and the 3, you got to sort of dip into it, whereas this one's sort of flat. So you could potentially put something straight into it, like the boot of an SUV. So that's one potential benefit. So yeah, but seems pretty wide, right? All the way out to the edges there. So like you said, Riz, it's hard to tell from perspective. Yep. Cool. Thanks everyone for your comments. Let's see what else can I put in there. Yeah, Greg says enough for golf clubs. Okay. Throw your charging cables. Yeah, you probably fit that and a lot more in there. Ooh, tiny front compared to F-150 Lightning. Ooh, okay. Interesting. Sensei saying
but
try
you
to
are
give
looking at an F-150 Lightning there.
Oh, yes, that's right. It might be. Oh no, it is. Is it? It's got the wrap. Is it?
It's got
It's got the wrap. Yeah.
Sorry, Tom.
No, all good, all good. Sensei saying try to gift a few memberships to the chat no button. I'll have to look at that, Sensei. I'll have a look. Okay. Yeah, Marco saying it's a ute. Big stuff goes in the back, small stuff in the front, but that's not the point. Okay, good point. Yeah, people are saying can hide a body in there. Not that we condone that, of course. Yes, JD also picked that up. Riz, it's not. You sure it's not the F-150 Lightning? Yeah. Is the photo shopped? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, anything's shopped these days, right? With AI, it's hard to tell until I touch and feel it. Doubting Thomas. That's me. Okay, what else can we chat about, Riz? Let's have a look. Okay, so this was seen this week. So Tech AU, Jason said that a Model 3 Performance was going for 50 grand. That was like a few days ago, so it's probably gone by now. It's a pretty good price.
Yeah, so Tom, when you sold yours to Tesla, that was around the 60,000 mark?
Yes, I got 60 grand for it. Yeah. So now it's 50.
The 50 on the private market, this one. So I think Tesla would probably offer 45 now.
Yeah, you're right. And you get 5,000 free supercharging kilometers too. Well, that's if you buy it inventory, not privately. There you go. Comes with a wall charger, white interior. Yep. Okay, we're not selling used cars here, so this just a point that yes, the prices are coming down for the used car market, everyone. So keep an eye out if you're in the market for a used vehicle, used EV anyway. Oh, so many windows open. Let's see. I'll close that one. Close this one. What else have we got, Riz? We've got, oh yes, back on the Cybertruck. So yeah, we've got a pic of the Cybertruck next to a Model 3 and a Model Y. So that's the true size right there.
Yeah, it's huge. I think 5 point something meters long from memory. And yeah, the V3 supercharger cable barely reaches where the port is, especially if the chargers are mounted to the back like they are in this particular. I think it's on the Giga Texas factory site where they have these superchargers for test vehicles.
Yeah, interesting. So I mean, personally, I think it's about as big as I thought it would be, but good to see that confirmation there in reality. Question from Greg: would you buy a pre-21 model? I think if the price is right, I think there's still good value. I've shown that the degradation's not too bad as well over 3.5 years. So yeah, it's still great cars. Yeah. And top view makes the trunk look massive comparatively. Yeah, good point actually. Now we've got a decent top-down view, but it's still pretty narrow compared to the Y next to it. Hey. Okay, cool. Now, this one was interesting this week. So, German state abandons plans for world first hydrogen train network after concluding that battery electric trains are much cheaper. Was this your article, Riz?
No, I think someone else put that together, but it's still interesting to see that they're obviously, heavy transport was an area where all the hydrogen advocates said that that was sort of the main reason where it was going to be beneficial. But yeah, it seems that battery electric is winning in all segments, as we were talking about the Tesla Semi earlier. I think Volvo, Scania, a lot of the big Daimler, all the big truck makers are heading that way, and now I guess battery powered trains as well.
Right. So yeah, reality is sitting home for a lot of these people who thought hydrogen was the way to go. So interesting times ahead for heavy transport too. Speaking of the Skoda, did we say Skoda? I heard something about Skoda, but I'll pop this up here. So this was spotted again this week. The Skoda Enyaq spotted charging from Tesla Supercharger in Dubbo, which is one of the sites that's open to all EVs. Now, what's interesting too is that the Skoda Enyaq charge port is on the back right. Now, this is probably the most problematic place to have a charge port if you want to use a Tesla Supercharger that's V2 or V3, because anyone who's ever used a Tesla Supercharger will know that the cord is very short. The cables are very short. So in order to charge a right-hand port or back right-hand port car in a Tesla Supercharger, you actually have to take up 2 spots unless you can find an end spot. So that's quite inconvenient. Other cars of note would be the Ioniq 5, the Kia EV6. So if you've got a back right charge port, then it's not so good because the Tesla Supercharger cables are short. Other sides like the front right, back left, that's all good. Even the front or the back of the car is okay. But yeah, just something to note for future reference. But yeah, what do you think of this car, Riz? It's not a bad looking car, right?
Yeah, it looks pretty sleek. Just I guess the timing is gonna be a big thing. If Skoda is looking at getting this here in 2024, how many more options will we have? How fast will BYD move with their CLU and a few other models that will be similar sized? And then the question comes, if the pricing is similar to what they've got in New Zealand, they had it starting at 92,000 New Zealand dollars. And then they dropped it to 79,990 just so it's eligible for their clean car discount. Big drop. And I don't think we'll get this car here, even in its base form, for under 70 grand. And that means Model Y is a much better value vehicle than what this is, and you can buy it today rather than waiting where the Skoda will deliver one. Also, obviously, understand that Model Y is not everyone's cup of tea when it comes to the looks, and people want those screens behind steering wheels. So, if Skoda can get it here quickly, it'd be good to see a couple on our roads.
The other thing I'm curious to investigate further is the servicing of these things. I mean, we know what Tesla servicing is like. I think they've done a great job over the years. Very easy to book a service. They're quite transparent. Heard some stories from other OEMs with servicing, so especially the ones that don't focus purely on EVs. So I don't know, it might be worth investigating. Maybe everyone on the chat here share your experiences. Might have to collate something. I don't know how to objectively measure that servicing experience moving forward.
Well, if many people have had Volkswagens or Skodas in the past, you'd definitely be very familiar with the servicing experience because you're usually going in for warranty claims quite a bit with their transmissions. They had a huge issue with their dual clutch transmissions that Volkswagen persevered with and continues to break down even in new vehicles. They're dual clutch automatic. So yeah, hopefully the electric variants don't have the same issue because they don't have transmissions like a traditional car. So hopefully there'll be less visits, and they have a special servicing unit for electric cars that makes it seamless, sort of like the Tesla experience.
Yeah, that's right. Now this is very interesting. Just a little not off topic, but it's this is just something that was shared this week. Nash reshared this one, but this is you ever wondered about charging in the wet? This is someone literally spraying water on a charger. Yeah, pouring water on the charger, and it's saying it's no problem. Yeah, driving in the wet, all good, insulated. So there you go. You can't get more wet than that.
I saw, I think I shared some photos of the Aura Cat that I got a chance to see at a dealership a couple of weeks ago. Opening the charge port, it had a very interesting instruction. I can't remember word by word, but it said something like, "Don't pour water violently in port." So they had the Chinese and the English translation as you open the port door. So I guess Great Wall Motors, GWM, doesn't want that to happen, but Tesla says it's all okay.
Yeah, I mean, we don't condone this, by the way, everyone. If you're watching this, don't do it to your own cars. Let someone else do it for you on the internet. So, yeah. I mean, unless the rain's coming in sideways like that. I mean, I don't know. I've never had rain do that to my car. That's pretty full on. Okay, and Sawyer has tweeted or X'd, GM has unveiled the Cadillac Escalade, as you said, Riz, earlier. So here we go. Some stats here: 130,000 US, 200 kilowatt hour battery, 450-mile range, so about 650 kilometers, 40 speakers, far out. 0 to 60 miles per hour in 5 seconds, 750 horsepower, 8-ton towing, and production starts next summer. What a beast. Thing's huge.
40 speakers, you need them if you're a rapper because you got to be playing all the beats while you're recording your music video in this lounge. It's got a 55-inch display end to end, which is made up of 2 screens, but 55 inches. That's crazy.
And not just that screen, there's one little screen here too, just in case you couldn't see that one. Wow.
I think the rear seats also have a screen for each passenger.
Probably. Yeah, one speaker for every sample. How heavy? Good point. I don't know. I don't think... I'll have to look that up. Don't know. But
I think the closest thing would be the Hummer EV, which was 9,000 pounds.
Wow. That's so heavy. I mean, for 200 kilowatt hour battery, you'd have to be pretty heavy. Yeah, that screams like year 12 formal. You know, you want to be picked up in that thing. That's huge. Or prom night, as they call it in the States.
Prom night.
Yeah. Sensei says, I can see Riz Akhtar driving around dandying that Cadillac.
That's how I roll once I upgrade from getting these new set of runners. So Nike, Jordans, if you're listening, when my next rap video in this Escalade is what we need to do, electrify everything.
Yeah, that's one music video I would love to see, Riz. Cool. Yeah, what else have we got to chat about? Let's see. We've got. I saw this today actually. Chempower asking people, what do you want to see at a charging site that'll give you a good charging experience? So they had some suggestions here: reliable chargers, transparent visible pricing, a place to buy refreshments or use the restroom, pull through charging spots, ideal for towing a trailer, of course. Some good suggestions here: canopy, bin, screen cleaning, space to queue, yeah, queue management, clarity about 400, 800 volt power, overstay fees, yeah, idle fees, icing prevention, tire machines like compressors, vacuum cleaners, step-by-step instructions, clear signage from the road. Yeah, all that. That would make a fantastic experience.
Tom, have you had a chance to visit? I know we probably will be when we're doing our little road trip with MG4. Have you visited any of the Chempower sites, or is there any close to where you are?
Yes. I think there's one in Goulburn that's not commissioned yet last time I checked.
Right.
So we might have to go check that one out.
That would be quite cool. There's a couple here in Melbourne, and I'd love to get your take on it because the cables I find are really heavy. Like they've got a good cable management system, but they're still, yeah, the pictures don't do it justice. They are heavy. They're easier to move around than the tritium chargers, but I still, you go to a Tesla V3 supercharger and it's basically so light, anyone can do it. Here you sort of need to use two hands for, let's say vertically challenged people like myself or others that, may need a bit of help to maneuver some of those. So that's just my little feedback, but I think when you get to see it, love to get your take on it.
Yeah, no, you're right, Riz. Like we're not all 6'7" rugby second rowers, right? So it's got to be usable by the majority of the population. Yeah, I mean, I guess because they're water cooled, that's probably why they're heavy. But you're right, the Tesla chargers are much easier to sort of to manage. So yeah, it'd be great to check it out on the weekend for sure.
There was a there was a picture floating around this week of a mega charger that's left in Las Vegas next to a supercharger site. And whoever spotted it took a photo of the actual plug and the cable. That looked easier to move around than the Chempower or the Tritium PKM 150 chargers you find at BP sites. So that was interesting, like how far ahead Tesla is with their, cables and sort of the whole technology behind everything. It just seems everything is very heavy, but it will still be good to see more Chempower sites.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose for me, reliability is still number one. If they work all the time or close to all the time, then I'm happy. Cool. All right. That's Chempower, which we'll look at on our drive, of course. Was there anything else, Riz, we wanted to chat about this week from our cache?
I think now that we've sort of seen that the MG4 is nearly here, it's sort of the start of more affordable electric cars coming to Australia. Hope the BYD Dolphin isn't too far. That would be a great comparison. And I believe that BYD will be doing some interesting things in the coming months after they put out a press release a couple of weeks ago around some mega stores coming to different parts of Australia. So that'd be quite interesting to see if the Dolphin, all their models are there for people to see. Because we need those sort of experience centers to go in and have a look and, get to sit in the cars and really get to know whether they are, going to be right for us or not. And we know that once more bums in electric vehicle seats sells more electric cars. So we need more of those experience centers, and hopefully affordable EV makers like BYD and MG can do that as well.
Yeah, no, you're right, Riz. I like the thought of these automakers being like shopping centers, or meeting the people where they are, rather than you having to walk into their home. Um, I think that's the way it should be, or even pop-up stores, around busy arcades, so you can just walk past and have a look. No confrontation, no obligation. The reps there aren't there to make a buck. Well, they're usually salaried, not commission based. I think, but it seems that way when you talk to them. But yeah, so you can walk around without pressure, look at the car, and then you can make your own decision later on. And I think that's the way of the future. So yeah, good to see BYD doing that. Obviously, Tesla's doing that. Polestar's doing that as well. That's a different way of selling cars now. Comment from Paul. One thing I would like to see with DC fast chargers is not being inside a multi-story shopping center car park. Yeah, I mean, there are benefits to having one undercover, of course. The other point is that the shopping center may not be open 24/7, so you may not be able to charge after hours. That's the other thing. Obviously, if you've got a trailer, it's almost very difficult to drive through with one. So that's another downside. So yeah, I can see sort of pros and cons of that. Brett, thank you, Brett, for your little donation there. Thank you, much appreciated. And yeah, point about Teslas being everywhere now. Yeah, there's certainly a lot more. Riz put up his slide earlier. It's quite clear why there's so many now. Question from Brett as well. What one feature do you guys hope to see in the Highland refresh? Okay, that's a good question. So everyone put your comments down there. Yeah, I personally would like to see ventilated seats. It's probably not going to be the case, but given our warm climate, and I guess the rest of the world's warming up too, good to have a cooler backside. So it's not so sticky in summer. Riz, any particular thing you want to see?
I think I'd like to see, I know it sounds a bit silly, but I'd like to see more power in the performance, because we're talking about a car that's, given we're not going to get the Model S here anymore, and they were the sort of high-powered vehicles. It'd be good to see sort of, not a lot has changed in the powertrain since 2017 when it was first unveiled for the performances as well. They're only a little bit quicker, but a little bit more power and performance for those that are happy to pay more to get that would be sort of something that I'd be looking forward to.
Yep. Yeah, some good comments here as well. Ambient lighting, head-up display. Yep. Hardware 4 from Gaffer. Thank you. And more ventilated seats as well. Yep. So, yeah, I mean, that would be nice. A nice little wish list there, but we shall see. Yeah, so some more comments about DC chargers. Comment from Sydney Evie. I wish I was a Macca's or McDonald's executive. Missed opportunity not putting DC chargers in every Macca's car park. I mean, I agree, Rob. 100%. That's where these multinational national chains with car parks near their premises. Bunnings, IKEA. IKEA's got some, admittedly. Yeah, all the fast food chains on highways makes a lot of sense, right? Got the space there already. Included with every value meal, you get a free charging session. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Todd. Todd's a new member now. Appreciate that, Todd. That's great. Thank you. Welcome to the channel. Okay, cool. And oh yeah, Wilson Parking needs to have more chargers. Yes, Wilson Secure, all the big national chains too.
I got to see someone from Wilson's car park a couple of months ago at a conference, and they were talking about the future with EVs in car parks, and it's good that they started to think about it, but it was a little bit concerning when they said that they're about to go on their electric vehicle journey by having one electric vehicle per state by the end of this year. And they've got fleets of hundreds of cars that patrol these car parks, but they're just dipping their toes in when they really should be thinking about installing chargers. So I'm hoping the car park industry comes along and really starts to offer some of these services, just as you were saying, Tom, having it at fast food places, but also car parks where cars are naturally parked.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I mean, one per state, I don't know. I'm sorry, it's not good enough. I think we're beyond that now. 7 to 8% uptake per month. You know, time to get your skates on, people. Don't leave it too late. Oh, thanks, Jez. Jez offering us $5.42. Riz, that'll pay for some coffee. Yes, road trip MG4 coffee donation for you. Some guys, you guys might have to share. Oh, okay. We're friends. We're not that close though, Jez. Recommend half calf double shot almond cup of Chino. Enjoy it and drive safe. Yeah, will do. Thank you, Jez. You're a legend. Thank you. Yes, P2N. Yes, the G word, greenwashing for some of these things for now. Yeah, time to get serious. Yep, good point, Sydney EV. If at a food store, give charge price discount for customers. Yep, another way to do it for sure. Yeah, cool. And where's the road trip to? Yeah, I think we can reveal that, Riz. Yeah, somewhere on the Hume Highway from Sydney. We'll let you know a bit more as the video is dropped next week, sometime early next week. Oh, Sensei says $2 for an ad to put on a milk carton for missing Rahul. He's not missing, Sensei. He's just overseas with family. He's all good. He's all good. He'll be back next week. Yes, we'll check out the pheasant's nest. That's guaranteed. We can definitely confirm that for sure. Cool. All right. Well, Riz, that might be it for us tonight. Up to the hour mark. So yeah, time to say goodbye. And again, sorry everyone, there's no live stream on Saturday morning. We're doing our little road trip, me and Riz. So we'll probably try and post on Twitter or X along the way. So yeah, and then I'll probably drop the video early next week when I'm done with the MG4, but should be good. Thanks everyone for watching. All your comments and questions, really appreciate that. If you're watching live and if you're watching on replay, drop a comment as well. Thank you for listening to us on audio podcasts, and thank you, Riz, from The Driven and Carloop for your time as always.
Thanks, Tom. It's been awesome, everyone. I think lots is changing, and we're hitting that turning point now where there's no going back. So good to have everybody contributing and sharing all the good things around EVs.
Yep, well said, Riz. Couldn't agree more. Okay, well that's it from us, from me and Riz. Thanks everyone, and yeah, stay safe, and we shall see you next week with Rahul and Nash from Tesla and Nagong, hopefully. Thanks so much, and until next time, as always, happy charging. Take care.